COVID was, for me, like a rehearsal.
There will absolutely be an outbreak of another pandemic. It may be next year.
You know, we just need to mess around. There's a lot of lipid nanoparticles, and some are very self-assembly.
We know what's next. A new wave of pandemics is going to be upon us.
I'm convinced that there will be another pandemic.
Oh, certainly we'll have one in the next 25 years. You know, there's even some pathogens out there that we're watching over right now. And so I'd probably put bioterror, which is a really awful.
We are going to see a whole new age of biological weapons. We have to grapple with that reality because that is what is coming.
I can't go into all the details, but there are man-made threats that we were prepared to deal with.
When the next pandemic comes knocking, and it will, we must be ready to answer decisively.
You know, we'll have to prepare for the next one. That, you know, I'd say is will get attention this time.
Did you notice Bill Gates smiles? He's like laughing, hysterical, excited. I mean, every clip of him. I'm going to mute this because I just want to. He's so excited. Look at this. It's like a kid in a candy store. He's like excited about this. It's called duper's delight when sociopaths, where they can't help but show their joy, their excitement when they know that they've done something wrong, when they know they've hurt someone, they know they've done something evil, and they're getting away with it. Look it up. This is a real known thing with psychopaths. Duper's delight. Now, I brought you the video earlier, and I've played this one before, but I wanted to play it again because right now, there's an unprecedented amount of flu cases. Really, it's unknown. People are testing for flu, testing for COVID. They're not coming up positive for either one. I'm one of those people where I got sick. I was in New York. I came back. I was perfectly fine. Then all of a sudden, boom, it just hit me. Like within an hour, I went from perfectly fine to just laid out. I could barely move. It was just a nightmare. Like I could not, breathing hurt so bad when I coughed. Oh my gosh. I was doing everything I could not to cough, but I had to. It's just been nasty. And I'm seeing thousands of videos pop up, particularly on TikTok about this. And I didn't know this was going on. So I was just like, okay, maybe I got it. Well, I got this now, and it just started popping up just magically on my TikTok. I didn't look up anything. Did not look up anything about being sick, but magically it knew to show it to me. And I was just like, well, why am I getting sick? This doesn't make sense. But maybe this is where God wants my attention because of what's been going on. And I have talked to you guys about over and over that one of the main drivers of digital ID is going to be a vaccine passport. Right? And not just on the phone, the digital ID right now, but where is that moving to? Bill Gates, the same person I've played you, that he now has the technology, has been unveiled, that you just put on kind of like a sticker and it inserts quantum dots under your skin and a QR code that will act as a vaccine passport. Then you peel it off and it's already deposited under your skin and it's permanent and cannot be removed. Right? So this is what's been going on, but let me show you some more. Look at this. New York Department of Health announces most flu cases ever recorded in 1 week. That includes before the pandemic last time, which it all started out as a flu. This is what they were saying. It was just some type of flu, just a bug going around, just a bug. But now it's breaking records that even we did not see with the coronavirus. Okay? So these are people who are testing positive for the flu, but do you know there's thousands of cases, millions of cases where they're not testing positive for anything. It's some type of weird mutation, right? And this has been coming out, and it's so funny. Ground zero for all of these cases seems to be New York. This is what happened to me. In 2019. I went to New York in December. I had an event I had to go to. On the plane back, I started to feel sick, and it was the most sick I had ever felt. By the time I got home, I was just falling apart, similar to how I was feeling with this. And then the next thing I knew, at first it was just the flu. Everyone was talking about the flu and all that. And next thing I knew, it just transformed into a worldwide pandemic. And speaking of worldwide, let me show you this one.
The UK is currently being battered by a mutant superflu this winter. Experts say the new variant, nicknamed subclade K or H3N2, is more infectious and could cause more severe illness than standard flu. At least 6 hospitals have declared critical incidents after being overwhelmed with cases of the bug. And several schools have been forced to close their doors or bring back COVID-style rules like no singing in assemblies or no Christmas dinners, as hundreds of kids are off sick. Flu cases are very high for this time of year, and they show no signs of dipping in the lead up to Christmas. Last week, an average of 1,700 patients were in hospital with flu, more than 50% higher than the same time last year. And experts now predict this number could rise to 8,000 by next week. The best way to protect yourself is to get a free flu vaccine if you are eligible.
Of course, the flu vaccine is gonna help you and protect you. And guys, this is like 2 weeks old, 2-3 weeks old. Okay, I don't even have the latest of what's been going on, but I know what happened with me, and I know the videos that I have been seeing, the information that's out there, that this thing is increasing. It's an outbreak. There's the norovirus is breaking out. There's all types of things that are breaking out, things that we know, but then there's this mystery one that is breaking out worldwide at this point. Now it says the sub-K super flu spike is real and spreading rapidly. Again, we're using the term flu loosely, guys, like, okay, because we don't have, I'm just going to say it's an outbreak. It's a virus. But this is showing in the dark areas on the map. That's where it is. We're seeing the most cases. Of course, New York, like I said, is always ground zero. But this is where it is in the rest of the country. Now, when you see the states that are least populated, more spread out, you're seeing less cases of it, which is great. But in places where it's more populated, which even like Colorado, which is very odd to me because that's not as populated, but you're still seeing it break out there, maybe because people are traveling there for winter, which we've seen the amount of snow. That's another video. There's no snow in all these places. It's warm in Colorado. Unprecedented things that we are seeing with the weather, and now this mess that we have to deal with. And if you don't know, well, today is International Day of Epidemic Preparedness Calls for Global Health Unity. What? So December 27th is the International Day of Epidemic Preparedness. I kid you not. I had no idea about this. I happened to be looking up things for this video, and boom, lo and behold, that is what today is. Guys, I'm telling you, God just like gives me things. I don't even know. Like, I don't even know what to say. It was established by the UN in 2020 after COVID-19 revealed gaps in global defenses. Really? It was a gaps in global defenses? Okay. Really? Well, I got something for that. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres and WHO Director General Tedros, urge resilient communities, early detection, international cooperation, and a 2026 pandemic agreement for fair vaccine access. Leaders worldwide highlight a One Health, like one world order, One Health approach linking human, animal, and environmental health, with hospitals like Pakistan's sharing training efforts and India's praising life-saving responses. You know what I see in this? Okay. A 2026 pandemic agreement for fair vaccine access. What does that mean? What does that mean? What is fair vaccine access? How do they plan to do that? Well, they're going to be distributing these vaccines in new ways, not just with shots. Like I told you, the patches, the quantum dots, those types of things, and also having the digital passport. But then this is the other thing. Just think about how we're going to have a global response. I mean, every country in the world needs to respond in the same way. Because if you don't know, COVID was allegedly, actually it's not allegedly, they say it was a test run, right? And I'm gonna play that video in a second, but look at this. It says leaders worldwide highlight a One Health approach linking human, animal, and environmental health. Does this not sound like the WEF agenda? Does this not look like the Economist magazine that we went over, where the look ahead to 2026 of what's going to happen? They're not predicting, they're not speculating, they're telling you what's going to happen. Understand that this is a magazine chaired by the Rothschilds. This is a magazine that's for the insiders. They are laying out the blueprint of what they have planned and what's to come. And in fact, let me show you the cover if you haven't seen it. Now, I want to play this clip for you. I believe she's speaking in German. I want to say, I believe she is. But it does have the captions, and then I can read it over for you guys if you can't quite see it on your screen. But I think it's important to hear. But it says AFD leader Alice Weidel says that the pandemic was just a test run to see how well the government could control the people. Media manipulation, repressive isolation measures, citizens complied like livestock. And she's not the only one. Multiple ones have said this. I've played you the video of the whistleblower who testified in 2022 about this was their plan. And it was all in a way for them to completely control us in every part of life. And the pandemic, this is going to be a way, if another one, as they've all predicted, is coming, as this rolls out, that is how they're going to enforce all of this. This is how they enforce vaccine passports. This is how they're going to isolate you outside of the system. Bill Gates even said if everyone doesn't have a digital ID by 2028, well, they won't be able to function in society. But we know that already. We know that that's the plan. That is guys, that is the 2030 agenda. I don't know how to wake up people more, but let's play this. Hopefully you can see the captions. So this is the world ahead of 2026, and we've broken this down. We've gone through it. You guys will have to go back to that video. I did a full live stream, and not just a live stream. I did I even clipped it for you guys to see it. There's a guy on YouTube that broke it down beautifully. But look at this, just to highlight, and it may be a little pixelated, but because I'm like trying to blow up a small picture. But one of the things I noticed outside of war, outside of the economy collapsing, the stock market crashing, outside of, where's the dollar? There's a dollar sign. It's being cracked and smashed. If I have something to bring you guys about tokenization and digital currency that is rolling out worldwide, here in the US as well. But look, there's needles and pills everywhere. Look, they have all of these pills and needles. I mean, pills are in every corner of this thing. But then they had these two giant vaccine needles. Hopefully you can see it. Sorry, I'm looking over here, right? Along with the pills. So this was something that they know was going to happen for 2026 coming out. Buckle up. Not only are we heading into a year of war that they have all predicted, okay? All right, 250th anniversary of the United States. Notice the flag is behind a protest fist because, you can't see it. It's behind a protest fist because I told you with it chained, because you're not allowed to protest. The laws that are coming on the books right now, right? And if you've not heard this, and I've gone over it several times, there are currently almost 20 bills right now that are being legislated in Congress, bipartisan, meaning Republican and Democrats, that effectively end freedom of speech, particularly online. And not only that, but it forces everyone to get a digital ID. All right, now that's a whole nother topic than what we're saying. It all ties into each other, but understand what is coming. So that's when I tell you guys, when they say resistance is futile, we've seen in movies and things, like, they mean it. They have this thing planned. They have been planning this for decades, right? They have been leading up to this point. No matter what administration, no matter who it is, it all is two wings of the same bird, the left wing and the right wing. And you've got to take your mind out of the matrix of a left and right and all of these kind of culture war issues that they have us fighting about. Because while everyone is fighting about those things and a bunch of other nonsense right now, we are about to be not only in a digital prison, but we're going to be essentially in a pandemic prison. That this is what they're telling me. I don't know what else to tell you. And then all the other information that I have and that I've been showing you proves this out.
Ich bin der festen Überzeugung, dass das, was wir gesehen haben während der Corona-Maßnahmenpolitik, dass das ein Testrun, ein Testlauf für was Größeres gewesen ist. Man hat ganz genau die Systeme getestet, wie weit man mit repressiven Maßnahmen gehen kann, um die Bürgerrechte einzuschränken und inwieweit die Menschen mitmachen durch Manipulation, Agitation und Propaganda durch die Medien. Das ist alles eine Begleitung gewesen des politmedialen Komplexes, um die Leute einfach komplett fertig zu machen. Mit einem der größten Lügen überhaupt, genauso wie mit der Angst vor dem Klimawandel. Es ist genau der gleiche Mechanismus. Ich bin der festen Überzeugung, dass
So I'm going to mute it and I'm just going to scroll it through and read it for you guys, for those who could not see it on the screen. I'm firmly convinced that what we witnessed during the COVID policy measures was a test run, a trial run for something much bigger. They precisely tested systems to see how far they could go with repressive measures to restrict civil rights and to what extent people would comply through media manipulation, agitation, and propaganda. This was all orchestrated by the political media complex to completely break people down with one of the biggest lies ever, just with climate change. I mean, I think it's just like with climate change. It was fear. It's exactly the same mechanism. And speaking of that, I mean, they're just, have you guys seen King Charles? Have you seen this? I don't even know if I want to play the whole thing. I'll play it. He just talks so slow, but let me play it for you guys on what he's talking about. His Christmas address, guys. This is what he's talking about at Christmas. It's wild. What do I tell you? You can't just look at what's happening today. You can't just look at what's happening in the U.S. You got to look at the past, put it in perspective what's happening now, what they say is going to happen in the future, but then also globally. Globally, if you are not looking at this globally, you're missing it. You're going to miss everything. You are not safe and protected just because you're in the U.S. We are part of all of this. We're part of all of this. All right? Democrat or Republican, it does not matter. None of that matters anymore. And hopefully you guys are starting to see this as things are rolling out, and it just seems like the government and the world and these agencies and world leaders are just blatantly open about it now. They don't even care. They don't care what you think. They don't care about your votes. They don't care about any of that. And they've told you why. We don't matter anymore. We don't. They have already planned every step to remove all possible obstacles for them completing this agenda.
Without swift and immediate action at an unprecedented pace and scale, we will miss the window of opportunity to reset for a green-blue recovery and a more sustainable and inclusive future. In other words, the global pandemic is a wake-up call we simply cannot ignore. Having been at this now for well over 40 years, I have long observed that people tend not to act until there is a real crisis. Ladies and gentlemen, that crisis has been with us for far too many years, decried, denigrated, and denied. It is now rapidly becoming a comprehensive catastrophe that will dwarf the impact of the coronavirus pandemic. At this late stage, I can see no other way forward but to call for a Marshall-like plan for nature, people, and planet. With the planetary emergency so critical, with the permafrost melting in Siberia, for instance, producing dire effects on global warming, and with the Pantanal in Brazil being consumed by unprecedented numbers of fires, we can no longer go on like this. as if there was no tomorrow and no ultimate reckoning for our abuse of nature. So, what do we do? Without doubt, we must now put ourselves on a warlike footing, approaching our action from the perspective of a military-style campaign. That way, working together, we can combat this most grave and urgent challenge. If we have the resolve to shift our trajectory, we must start now by bringing forward our net zero target.
So again, remember, they're combining. So when they talk like this, understand, remember what was today? What did he say? What did it say? It said that they leaders worldwide highlight a One Health approach linking human, animal, and environmental health. This is Epidemic Preparedness Day. So not just talking about a virus, they're tying it all together, guys. The environmental crisis, everything that's coming together. The way he's speaking, he even brings up coronavirus. You have to start to listen between the lines of what they are saying. He's talking about bringing a military style, a martial law approach. And they must act right now because it's going to be worse than the coronavirus. And this is all, again, they link all of this together. I told you right now in the UK, food, already packaged food, has the number of your carbon. What percentage of that food eats up your carbon allowance of food you're allowed to have that day? I am not kidding you. You will be given a carbon allowance. It is already rolling out on packaging on food. That it shows you what percentage of this eats up, let's say, okay, you have 20 points in a day, right? That you can use up, that you're allowed, your carbon print. Well, this package will say, well, this will use up 12% of that if you eat this. That is essentially, are you guys starting to see the net falling? Now, we're paying attention now, but imagine the majority of the world, they're not paying attention. They don't care. They don't think it will happen. But imagine when it fully comes out. How are they going to get people to comply? What are they going to do? Imagine if a pandemic is roaring. People are dying. Millions of people are dying. All this chaos. We have war. The economy has collapsed, which is what they predict in that magazine, the Rothschilds, the 13 families. That's their magazine. And they have said, they didn't predict. They said, this is what's happening. It's not a prediction. I want to be clear. This is the plan. And they have planned this out to a T. Now, I've told you before, they can put out vaccines in many different forms. You know, it could be airborne, the chemtrails. They can, your food now can have it actually grown into the food, not just sprayed on it. But then also dental floss, guys. They are able to do it in any type of way. So I always think, well, if they can put a vaccine in on things that way, well, couldn't a virus be transmitted or put out in the same way? And you may say, like me, which I eat mostly organic now, well, if I eat organic, I'm all good. I'm not going to have these issues. Well, look what our old buddy Bill Gates once again has done.
In case you haven't heard, Bill Gates' appeal coating is now approved for organic produce. And no, there's no label, you cannot wash it off, and it's being sprayed on fruits and veggies that are labeled certified organic. Appeal is an invisible, tasteless coating that is sprayed on produce to extend the shelf life. It's made from mono and diglycerides, which are highly processed emulsifiers that are derived from fats. As I mentioned, there's no labeling required, so you could be buying organic produce without even knowing that it's sprayed with this coating. This whole thing is backed by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, originally to reduce food waste. But now it's quietly making its way into the organic food system under the name OrganAppeal. And here are the stores that are confirmed to be using the appeal-coated produce. And here are the stores that say they do not use it. Stores such as Whole Foods, Kroger, and Aldi have not confirmed if they will or will not be using it. So you might as well assume they might.
Let me read that list because I know some of you guys could not see that. Okay, so, sorry, I have two screens, guys. So stores that are using it: Target, Albertsons, Walmart, Fairway Market, Fred Meyer, Bristol Farms, Market Street, The Fresh Market, Meyer, Shaw's, Star Market, Club Foods. These are stores so far that aren't using it. Natural Grocers, Sprouts, Costco, Publix, H-E-B, Trader Joe's, Jimbo's? I never heard of that. I'm sorry, guys. This is so... Azure Standard, Kimberton Whole Foods, Clark's Nutrition, Love Whole Foods Cafe and Market, Fresh Time, Giant, Bragg, Erewhon. Okay, Erewhon and Wish Farms, which Erewhon is owned by Haley Bieber. So right now, those who haven't confirmed it are Whole Foods, Kroger, and Aldi. So this is what we're facing, guys. This is what we're facing. Now, I want to play this next video. We're a little short on time, but I just want to play a little bit of it.
Renowned disease detective Dr. Michael Osterholm has been at the forefront of countering some of the biggest global health threats, from COVID-19 and measles to SARS and swine flu. And now he has a fresh book with a fresh warning. The book is called The Big One: How We Must Prepare for Future Deadly Pandemics. Osterholm imagines a coronavirus-like virus emerging. This time, though, more deadly, more contagious. Yeah, Dr. Michael Osterholm joins us now. Doctor, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.
Just saying, we've interviewed you on Zoom and stuff throughout the pandemic, never seen you in person, so welcome. This is a scary book because it imagines a very scary scenario in which a lot of people get sick and die. How likely is that scenario?
It's very likely. For example, one of the premises of this scenario is that the virus, which is a coronavirus like COVID was, actually is as infectious as SARS-CoV-2 or COVID was, which was highly infectious, but it didn't have the ability to kill like the Middle Eastern Respiratory Syndrome or MERS or SARS did. That was a virus that killed 15 to 35% of the people, but was not very infectious. This virus is a combination of the two, highly infectious and can kill. And we've actually now discovered these very viruses in bats in China in the caves just in the last 6 to 12 months. So the possibility of this happening is not some remote maybe. There's a real likelihood it could happen.
Did we kill the...
This book came out, 2 months ago, 3 months ago. So this isn't something, oh, guys, when you're starting to see all this stuff moving, he just happened to put this book out right now. We just happen to see these outbreaks. We just happen to see all of this stuff happening at the same time. Understand, a lot of these experts who are warning us are part of the system. It's disclosure. They tell us, but only those who are paying attention will hear the message. Those who are not distracted will hear the message. So when he says it's likely, this is more deadly, he's saying. And what pandemic is he talking about? Like what virus is he specifying? He said this one. So which one, sir? I'm very curious. I'm going to dig more into this. I think we're going to have to probably do a whole live stream breaking this down and going into the details so we can get this information. Because again, like I told you, I know disclosure comes in this way, right? But this is how they all set. They do the disclosure. There's a lot I can get into why they disclose. But understand, when this disclosure comes, it's not to help us, right? It is to prepare us, to get us thinking, oh, another one, it's going to be worse than Corona. It's going to be worse. It's going to be this. It's going to be more deadly. So we got to get the vaccine. We have to do this. So by the time it rolls out, okay, all of this information's out here, and this guy's already set up as the expert that's going to be pushing those types of things. Every news report I find out about any of this stuff that's breaking out right now, it's always go get your flu shot. Make sure you get the flu shot. Make sure you get a shot. Make sure you get a vaccine. It's programming us to be prepared that this is coming for sure. They have told you, so do not act surprised. But outside of that, for people who are sheep, people who are asleep, who don't know any better, well, it's just like, oh, well, the expert said we need to get this vaccine. It's going to work. So it's setting him up. It's controlled opposition. So he's on our side because he's telling us, but he's going to also give the solution, which is going to be, where does the solution come from, right? Guys, it's just a vicious cycle. The more I've done, I went into politics, the more I've done research on this stuff, I'm seeing it all over the place. Even some of your favorite podcasters, they're all part of the system. All part of the system. You don't have to believe me. I'm just telling you what it is. It's why the more my eyes were open, I was so disgusted. But at the same time, I don't know why I'm disgusted, because it is the way of the world. It is what it is. Money and fear drive a lot of people, and they're, you know, a lot of times their intentions and the things that they do are not, you know, most of the times it's not to help us, but it's all part of a program. And you have got to start using discernment and understanding where this stuff is coming from. But anyway, this video is long enough, guys. I'm thinking I'm live streaming. I'm going into a whole rant. Make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell, because I'm going to be doing more research. We're going to be doing more videos, keeping you guys updated about this, digital ID, the B system, all the things that are rolling out right now worldwide, the wars that are coming. It's just a lot, guys. It's a lot, but you know, I feel as though we are being given an early warning, so we know what to expect. And so that we can prepare more than anything, our hearts and minds, and so that we don't panic. All right. So with that, I will see you guys on the next one.